Hi fellow birdies, and welcome back to another edition of Mr. Songbird's Writing Mukbang. And today, I'm be going over something that some people may feel. Have you ever heard of something called emotions? Okay, it's Josh with you. Obviously, we've all had those. But more specifically, how do you go about conveying those in your story? Now, that can be a bit tricky. There's a number of ways to do it. First, let's go why it's important. You see, emotion is an excellent way of making your audience care. Like, if you can make them feel the same pain the character is feeling, they will very likely get invested in that character and more interested in what happens to them. In a story without us being invested in the characters, well, if they're interested in the characters, they don't care about them, they're about 2 steps away from where I don't care about this book and chucking off, and onto the shelf. Never to be read again. Now, proper conveyance of emotion can be the difference between I like going, ha ha ha, this guy's, backstory, like it's so hilariously stupid, abuse, we don't even care about it. Versus, did you see the way he just ignored, his, achievement? What a monster. Now, there's a number of ways to do it, though. And I'm going to go over those in this video real quick. I'll buy this is like a popcorn chicken sandwich. And fries, with of course ketchup. Now, there are 5, I've so far identified 5 main ways of conveying emotion, although you can subcategorize some of these or even combine some of these. And each will work differently depending on what point of view we're doing this in. So I'm going to divide it first by how it works for the point of view character and how it works for a not point of view character. And for those who aren't familiar, point of view character means whoever we're seeing the world through their eyes. For a classic example, in the Harry Potter series, the point of view character is Harry Potter the vast majority of the time, except for the first scene of each book. You're not going to see point of view characters as often in movies because, we can't see inside their heads as much. But it's exceedingly common in fiction writing. Unless you're writing omniscient point of view, where basically you're a separate entity from the character, you're just describing how they each, hear and see and feel, etc. You're probably in, one character's point of view. Sorry, got a little off topic there. Now, the first method to describe an emotion is to basically just say, he was angry. Jane is angry. Now, this is an example of something that works very differently depending on, the point of view character. Because if you're doing this from the main character's point of view, you should very rarely do this. Here's why. Basically, think about it this way. And how often do you find yourself saying in your head, you know what? I'm angry. or I am happy right now. I'm willing to bet that you maybe do that like once in like a few days, a week. And maybe you'll go, I'm tired, but you're not going to say I'm happy. And so you'll be thinking about what's making you happy. So, although there are exceptions, like you can pull off something like fury pulls through her kind of thing. But the vast majority of the time, it's like explaining a joke. They understand it, and the emotion's dead. Congratulations, you killed it. Now, in contrast, for a non-point of view character, it actually works really well, as long as it's done, properly. Because, like, basically you go, oh yeah, she was angry. Because here's the little secret. You're not actually describing what the character's feeling. You're describing what the point of view character thinks the other character's feeling. Which means that although, like what I say, you're never going to think, or rarely anyway, you think, I am angry, but you might go, oh, she's angry. Or, oh, he's, unhappy, or, oh, you get what I'm saying. So although it doesn't work well for, the point of view character, it works great for describing how other characters are. Mind you, don't use it for every situation, but what I'm saying is you should use it more frequently for non-point of view characters than for point of view characters. Now, the second method is through how that character acts. For example, I'm not going to bother saying what the emotion is. He slammed his fist on the table and let out a hissing breath. You don't need me to tell you what that person's feeling. You know what that person's feeling. I'm not going to say it because it's insulting your intelligence. Now, basically, describe what that character does, and you'll often convey the emotion through inference. Because your readers are smart. Or at least they like to think they're smart in most cases. But most of them are smart people. They will be able to understand that inference, very clearly. Assuming it's, a action that fits the emotion. If you try to go, he slams this on the table, you're really trying to convey, oh wow, I'm so happy right now. You probably should have chosen a different method. Now that method works perfectly well for both the character, whose head we're in, as well as the character as part, basically whether it's, the point of view character or not the point of view character. I'd say it's pretty good. What if we could have this again? Now, the next method is character description. Specifically, you describe, how should I put it, what the character's feeling, seeing, touching, etc. Now, with this one, it's going to be like, how should I put this? Her eyes went wide and she took a half step back. Well, I guess that's partially an action, but you know what I'm saying. Like, basically, you're describing something. Now, this one works, very well also for both, the point of view character and the non-point of view character. Well, I got to caveat that, because you should make sure to keep in mind what the point of view character would be able to, sense, interpret. For example, if, my face paled, unless I'm looking in a mirror, I probably don't know. Similarly, I probably don't know that the other person's feeling cold. I might be able to infer it, based on like a lack of heat or, the fan blowing and her shivering, But I won't be able to describe the sensation of her feeling cold. Like I said, this makes another fantastic addition to your toolbox. Feel free to use it on a regular basis. Now, one moment. The fourth method is thought. Specifically, what the character is thinking. I'm not saying like go. I mean, basically, you go say I feel angry kind of thing. That's the first method, and it's awful in that case. I'm talking more like, oh gosh, I wish I could rip that person's head off kind of thing. Or, gosh, what's another example? That's an anger example. Happiness, basically just like, for example, like, the feeling of, I'm basically thinking about how it feels to soar through the air kind of thing. Again, you're not saying they're happy, you're just letting the audience infer it through their thoughts. And then the fifth and final method, I'll go into in just a moment. Let me just have a little bite here. Oh, just to be clear, the fourth method, since you're talking the character's thoughts, point of view character only, unless we're reading some kind of mind reading character. Now the fifth method is to change the flavor of how you're describing. By which I mean, like, how should I put this? If you now imagine two different scenes. Both have a bunch of people, watching the main character. In the first scene, it's triumphant. They're describing the awe in the other character's eyes. They're describing, the jubilation filling the room. In the second one, you're describing the judgmental gazes, the frowns upon each and every face. You can probably get us the emotion just by, like, not just what's described, but how it's described. Like, basically, if it's a happier emotion that you're feeling, focus on the good sides of everything. If it's an unhappy one, describe, rather than like, white like ivory, maybe describe, white like, I don't know, milk, gone sour. Like, how should I put this? I'm thinking a series where it's done pretty well is, I'll go with Harry Potter again. Like, basically, it's very clear from the descriptions of the characters. They're not always, perfectly accurate. Like they're, a bit more, how should I put it? Like, they do analogies, they compare, like, Severus Snape to like a spider, or a bat. rather than an actual, like, I think they do good at description too as well, but it's more of they're flavoring, the description with the character's point of view. Now that said, this is more of an inference and kind of it's more subtle, and you probably don't want to use it by itself, but it works really well when you're combining with another one. For example, if you're already describing, go ahead and like basically physical actions, go ahead and describe, adjust the flavoring of that action. Oh, and obviously, since you're describing something from that person's point of view, this is a point of view character only method. You cannot do this from a non-point of view character, otherwise it would be a point of view character. But that's 5 methods you can use to describe emotions for like all the characters in your story. And like I said, feel free to mix and match as appropriate. It'll certainly work, wonders if it's done well. And that's what's most important. Make sure that whichever method you use to describe a character's emotion, or convey that emotion rather, make sure you're executing it well. Any one of these methods, if they're done poorly, will be garbage, regardless of which method you chose. Conversely, if you do a good job, you can make even the fury pulse through him work decently well. But that's all the time we have for today, fellow birdies. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in future writing mukbangs. But for now, I'm gonna pop out. Until next time, bye, fellow birdies.